Hello, that's Greg in a cap.
I'm wearing a cap, Jason, because it's New York and it's nearly 2 years ago to the day that I went to New York.
And today we're talking about things that kids of today will never do.
And the fact that the hairdressers are shut as well.
I'm Rex Smith, and you're watching Tea and Toast. Right on.
So, on today's show, Greg, we're talking about things that kids today will never do. And one of those things is they will never forget the adapter that lets us plug in the iPhone or other device to the TV to display our logo.
Sorry, Jason.
On there.
I left it at home.
Greg borrowed it to do something.
Just wanted to watch some football.
And hasn't brought it back, as we discovered this morning when we sat down to film this episode. Anyway, Greg, let's get straight to the point. Things that kids of today will never do.
This is going to be my favourite topic. I think this could go into 2 episodes.
Now let's quantify this, because there will be people on here who say, well, my kids do that, or my kids can still do that. Well, my kids can still do most of it because, to be frank, I still live in the 80s. However, in the mainstream, these things have died out or are dying out. Well, I'll start with this one, and it's a biggie. They'll never go to the video shop on a Friday night, or any other night for that matter, and choose a big box VHS video from the shelf.
Imagine the perfect video store. It would have a great selection, right? Right! Over 10,000 videos. 3 evening rentals, so no rush, no hassle. Fast checkout. 24-hour quick drop return. Open late every night. Well, the perfect video store
Welcome to Blockbuster Video.
is popping up all over the country. There's one near you.
Blockbuster Video. Wow, what a difference.
Now, I don't know whether you know this, but Jason's got a bit of a thing for big box VHS video.
I have got a bit of a thing for big box VHS videos, and if you've got any spare big box VHS videos, get in touch.
I think in the 80s, though, everybody had a thing for big box VHS video. It's very hard, isn't it, to say that?
We did have a thing for big box VHS videos, because they were always displayed in these, and my very early memories of the video shop have been very disappointed that you didn't actually get that case to take home. A lot of video shops would give you their own branded case, and this was just for the shelf, obviously.
They won. I cannot begin. If there's any little ones, younger ones watching, which there won't be, but they will never understand the excitement of going to the video shop and running around. I mean, we laughed about this yesterday because talking to my dad about it. I used to run in there, and Dad always said you can have 2. So I'd go in there straight to the same section every time, where Superman was, and it was always Superman 1 or 2 or 3 and 4 or whatever. So, and the excitement of getting home, and sometimes you had to rewind it and wait for it to go back
Because somebody hadn't rewound it.
It will never, because now you just go on your phone, press play, and the film's usually there.
But a lot of the time, the only thing that we had to sell this film to us was the cover and that little bit of writing on the back. You might have perhaps seen a trailer for it at the beginning of another video that you've rented and thought, I'd like to watch that. But that was it. There was no internet, no
going on YouTube to go for a review of it.
No reviews, no big press tours. I mean, there were press tours, and it was on film, things like Film 86 and onwards with Barry Norman.
Well, all right, it's just a movie and you can't win them all.
They used to do specials sometimes, didn't they? Like a special, the making of behind the scenes of Superman or something like that.
And they'd always have really awkward interviews on Saturday Superstore and going live when the people and the actors didn't really know what they were doing there.
What they'll be in there,
yeah.
Schwarzen Schnitzel and Schwarzenheim und Blemmenche.
Cool.
But anyway, they were the ways that we found out about these films, and we took a chance. Sometimes that paid off.
Took a chance.
Sometimes it didn't pay off at all.
Yeah, but you just don't, like Jason said, with the cover, it's the most exciting thing. Like for me, I have a clear memory of Superman 4 being the new one on the shelf. And I didn't, like Jason said, there was no real adverts for it at the time. So I just going into the shop and seeing that there, what's this? So it was a whole new adventure.
When I first started collecting these years and years ago.
What, your big box VHS video?
Yeah, you were, and my wife were like, "What are you buying them for?" People couldn't give them away. You'd get them anywhere. And I said to you at the time, these are going to become very collectible because it's pure nostalgia. The last time you held one of them in your hands was in that video shop.
Well, it was when I brought it down.
Then you got arrested.
I brought it. I just picked it up from there to give to you.
Yes, I know that, Greg. But I'm talking about normal people who aren't obsessed with the 80s like us.
I'm not obsessed.
I am.
You are.
You are. Anyway, this is an actual ex-rental. One night only was the hire for Police Academy. It was from Fothergill Brothers, 10 Fell Lane in Keighley. I wonder if anybody's watching this who actually went to Fothergill Brothers video shop.
I thought you were going to say, I wonder if anyone's watching this.
And I wonder, to take it any further, if anybody went to Fothergill Brothers in Keighley and rented Police Academy.
Because that would have been it.
This was it. The actual one that you rented. And no, you can't have it.
Well, they can for a certain amount of money.
They can't.
Oh, I honestly, I can't stress that you will never understand the excitement of going into a video shop. And now it's literally that, isn't it?
Well, that's it. The thing is, I might have said this to you before, Greg. Imagine your, let's say, 10-year-old self stood in the video shop looking at all the videos, all the top sellers, and then going to the ones that you've seen before because the top seller you wanted wasn't in. Somebody walking in with an iPad with Netflix on it or something like that and going, all of those are on there. Watch them now if you want. I mean, you wouldn't have been able to because there was no internet then, but do you know what I mean?
Oh, the excitement. It was just... that's something that it'll never happen again. It'll never happen for obviously the youngsters, but even we won't get that excitement again. That's gone for us. One
day, you walked into a video shop for the last time and you didn't even know it.
Jason, this is becoming quite emotional.
I often think that. When was the last time I went to the video shop? I didn't even know it was the last time I'd be going there. Moving on to the next one, and still sticking with the cassette theme, but a slightly smaller cassette now, Greg. Kids today, on the whole, I know cassettes are still available and some bands are releasing their stuff on cassette now, but you can't tell me, you can't tell me that it's ever going to be as popular as it was, and it will die out again. I think it's just a fad at the moment. Kids aren't going to go to record shops like we did and buy cassettes.
I don't know if they're going to go to record shops anymore.
No, yeah, that's the other thing.
Have you got the one that goes...
Album, cassette?
Or CD?
Mad about music? See a specialist.
Not only did we have our music on cassettes, but we also loaded our computer games from cassettes too.
It was, do you know, the amount of times that we've gone, let's put this in there, let's get this in there. Let's have a read of that, please.
Oh, let's hope the lyrics are on the inlay
card.
card.
In there. You put it in, and then what do you do, Jason? You do this, don't you? Put it in the thing, shut it like that, and you go. Chewed.
Did you used to write down like the timings next to the tracks on your counter, so you'd be able to fast forward to the track that you wanted?
I wasn't quite a geek like that, no. But I certainly, I used to want the words in them. That's what the lyrics that you said. If they didn't have the lyrics in, I was just really gutted.
And you couldn't go on the internet and find the words. You had to then write them down.
Or make them up.
Misheard lyrics. Here we go.
What did you think Man in the Mirror always was?
That's why I used to think that it was, instead of No Message Could Have Been Any Clearer, No Message Could Have Been Andy Gibbon.
Who's Andy Gibbon?
You have a listen. It doesn't sound like Andy Gibbon.
Man in the Mirror is one of my favourite songs of all time, clearly. But I struggle listening to it now without his voice saying Andy Gibbon in the middle of it.
No message could have been Andy Gibbon. Yeah, so I had loads of these tapes. mostly, I've got to say, were mixtapes that we'd made ourselves. Because,
Were you more... Sorry, go on.
Because when I remember the first double cassette tape player coming out, or the first one we had anyway, and that changed my life. Because then I could like get all my brother's tapes and stuff and copy them over.
Yeah. Were you more a record or tape man?
Record, I think, until I got my Walkman. Then it was all.
But the good thing about that, you could record them.
Yeah, you record your records onto your tape. When you got your first sort of mini hi-fi.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Inari DSK2 MIDI hi-fi with twin Dolby cassettes and digital compact disc. Inari waiting to be released.
They'll never have a hi-fi. They don't have hi-fi. You can't buy a hi-fi anywhere now, really.
I've got one.
But when did you buy it?
Bought it from the auction.
Yeah. And what year was that released? That stereo.
1989.
There you go. I'm on about. You can't really go into say Curry's now and buy a stereo system. It's either
Bluetooth speaker.
It's an Amazon Alexa or a Google thingy or whatever it is. It's all them now. There's no stereos now.
So that's something that our kids will never have to do, is search through the tape to find the track they want to listen to. All they have to do now is go, Alexa, play All Night Long by Lionel Richie. Although I don't think they'll be asking for that track, do you? But what a track it is.
What a track it is.
I watched a thing about that the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. And did you know the bit in the middle, Mumba-dee, jabba, whatever
It's
it is?
made up, isn't it?
Yeah, it means nothing.
Yeah, he couldn't find any lyrics to... I must have watched the same thing because he couldn't find any lyrics to fit. So he went, humpa-dee-pa-da-pa-da-boo.
Or whatever it says.
Something like that. And it fitted.
It's not a real language, it's just made up. Go on, Lionel.
Go on, Lionel. Bomba-tita said to Mota, hey, Jumbo Jumbo. Which is ironic, really, because he's speaking of a Jumbo Jumbo, isn't he?
So, talking about the double cassette player, Greg.
Yeah.
We used our double cassette player to, well, even before, with the single recorder on it. Sunday afternoon, chart countdown. Look at that, it says charts on it.
Look at that.
Try and pause it before the DJ started speaking, which you could never do.
You'll never know what it's like, because you couldn't always go out and buy the song, because it wasn't released, because back in them days, they didn't just release a song when you first heard it. They used to release, it'd be on top of the pops, and it would come out a month later, wouldn't it? So, they would play it on the radio, though, before you could buy it. So, you were literally there going, record. Wait for it to finish. Don't talk. Oh, he's talked.
It's the worst when he was talking over the intro.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm missing the intro here, Bruno.
Bruno Brooks? Yeah, or Simon...
Yeah, are we allowed to talk about them?
I don't know. I think Simon is alright.
Let's move on. Yeah, so, like, you'd have Take On Me and you'd miss the whole da-da-da-da-da-da-da because he'd be going, and down two in this week's charts is...
And all you get on is... Don't kill away. I love it.
We have to mention the age-old thing that people talk about, and you see those memes on the internet with the pencil and when your tape got chewed up in your Walkman and you'd have to get it out. Well, I just used my finger, but you had a pencil.
You know what I always found quite...
But, sorry to interrupt, because you interrupted me first. But, whenever you did that, and you played it, on that bit that it got chewed up, it never quite sounded the same, did it?
Oh, you'd always get to it and go,
yeah.
Where's your wisdom tape?
Careless where you spun. Guilty feet have gotten on rhythm.
Not very good when you was trying to get romantic, was it? What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, that's what I never understood. The CD was supposed to be a move forward, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And yet, when the CD Walkman came out, you couldn't walk with it.
Because it just jumped about all over the place.
Yeah, the CD was a skip where they never did. They were better than the CDs.
You're right, Greg.
You'll never experience it.
I think CDs took a while to get established. Not like nowadays when a new format comes out. Suddenly you have to throw out... Like when Blu-ray came out, suddenly you have to throw out all your old DVDs and buy Blu-rays. But I think CDs... were first released in 1983. But it was a good few years before we had a stereo with a CD player.
Oh, yeah, early 90s for me.
Yeah, so tapes and vinyl were still going strong.
Such a shame. I miss the tape.
Oh, yeah, there's one.
Oh, thanks.
So, this one, Greg, firmly sits in the category of dying out. Won't be around much longer.
Right.
Although these particular ones obviously died out a while ago, but I'm talking about games on a cartridge as opposed to a tape cassette. There aren't many systems now. In fact, I think there's only one popular system that still uses a game cartridge. And it's a game cartridge that's very different to the cartridges we're talking about. I'm talking about the Nintendo Switch. Still uses, arguably, a game cartridge card.
The options are there though, aren't they?
Which is that big.
But they're not that big.
It's like a memory card, a flash card.
They are, but the option is still there for you not to use them. You can just buy them in the shop on the actual system.
We're talking about these. There's no game in there, Greg. That's useless.
It's just the box?
Yeah. Home Alone, so I can't show you the cartridge, but that's a Nintendo NES cartridge. The Sega Master System, Sonic's first appearance, was on a cartridge that big.
That was small.
And you would place that into your
clip it in
system and it would load a lot faster than tapes did. Remember when we had to load them from tapes? Now, I think we've talked about this before, but the price of these cartridges, even back then, was prohibitively expensive. You're right.
What did you say?
Prohibitively expensive.
I thought that's what you said.
They cost a lot.
Right.
So you were talking, even like when the NES system came to, I was going to say came to town, came to this country, one of these games, depending on the title, you were talking £45, £50, even back then.
That's a lot of money, isn't it?
Hence why, when I got an NES system, I only ever had Mario for it. Super Mario and Duck Hunt.
On the what, sorry?
Duck Hunt.
Oh, right.
Because we couldn't afford to buy any more cartridges unless we borrowed them.
Oh, I had every single title out.
Of course you did, Greg. Similarly with the Master System, I think we had the built-in game. There was a couple of built-in games depending on which version you had. There was Alex Kidd in one of them.
I had all them.
My favourite game on the Master System was Psycho Fox.
See, I wasn't a Sega person, but
Sega.
I was Nintendo all the way, and it was in fact the Super Nintendo was my first proper console because we're a little bit young. I'm a little bit younger. We said this, but the cartridges on that were slightly bigger than them.
By the time you get to the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive, game rentals was a thing, wasn't it? And you could go to Blockbuster, the video shop.
Forgot about that as well.
Not only get your video that you wanted, but also rent a game.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And that's when we started to play more games on our systems.
Ritz Video now rent Sega video games. It's mind blowing.
You all right, mate?
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't bother me as much as the video thing, though, because the only thing I think that's a shame that it's going down the road of there's your system, download it, click, you've got it on you. I miss the box. I like that. I like having the box.
I mean, there might be some people still like me, but I know that lots of people are now moving over to it, but I can't bring myself to pay for a downloadable game.
Well, the other problem is as well, they're so expensive, aren't they? When you know you can go on a certain site and buy them second hand, and you can't do that when you buy them on the system.
And you can't sell on downloadable games either because they're tied to your account. So you can't sell your Switch with 20 games because you've downloaded them. And as soon as you log out and a new person logs into that Switch, then those games aren't there anymore.
Yeah. Like I said, this doesn't bother me as much as the others because in some ways it's easier to just to be able to go click click, but like you said, it's so expensive as well. And
I need the physical game.
I do like it. I like even like you said about the videos. I like reading about them in the back.
And there must
gets you into it more.
There must still be quite a few people like me out there because the PS5 there's two versions, isn't there? You buy a game, one that you can still put a disc in. And obviously then there's just the downloadable ones. There are still people who feel like they need the physical media. And, like Greg said, you can only trade the physical game or sell it and buy another game. If you download it once you've finished it, what do you do? We've been trading games since the 80s.
Just going to throw this out there.
Don't throw it anywhere. It's your own fault, Greg. Just get on with it.
I'm doing it now. Jason, my wife is really mad at the fact that I have no sense of direction. So I packed up my stuff and right. Because it should be left. I packed up my stuff and left. But because I've got no sense of direction, I said I packed up my stuff and right.
It's great service you get, renting your car set from Granada.
Our latest slimline Finlandias feature sharp, natural Granada colour, hi-fi sound, touch channel change. Have a free home trial.
Great service, great sets, that's what you get from Granada. It's better TV, that's why millions agree. Rent Granada.
Great service, great sets, that's Granada.
If you'd like to get in touch, please send us an email to tnt@totgoo.com. That's tnt@totgoo.com.
It doesn't have to be in capitals.
No, it does not. Just do it.
You've got that much hair now though, Jason. This probably won't hurt.
Oh, not a thing. Not a thing.
Not a thing, nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing, nothing.
Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share.
We do read all the comments.
We do.
I do, literally. I sit there at home reading and enjoying them all.
We do, and we appreciate every single one of them, so thank you for doing that and leaving your comments. But please, like I said, share and subscribe and all that stuff, because, well, that's what you say at the end of your video, isn't it? That's what everybody else says. So, thanks very much. We'll see you again next time on something.
What you said?